I've been promising for weeks to make this video, as I get asked all the time, how do you become a real estate agent here in Ireland? Well, today I'm going to share details on the licensing requirement, the salaries that are on offer, the college courses, and also alternative career options within the property market. But also make sure you stay watching to the very end and all the way through, because I have got 3 great agents who are going to share some details on their experience working in the property industry, as well as someone who is working on their college course at the moment and is 1 year through. Welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to be focusing on what it takes to become a real estate agent, both in residential and commercial here in Ireland. I also have 3 great agents sharing some of their experience so far in their careers. We have Regina Mangan, Managing Director of Liberty Blue down in Waterford. We also have Andrew Rhatigan of Janet Carroll. Regina is a pro at putting out LinkedIn videos and is very tech focused, so I'm sure she'll have lots of insight to share. If you're thinking about a career shift into property, Andrew is a great example of how to successfully do that. God, when I actually reached out to Andrew, I was delighted he agreed to share some of his insights, but when you actually see him on camera, you'll realise very quickly that he's a natural at it and he should be definitely putting out way more videos. We also have Hanevy from Bowling Highland, who is going to share some insight in regards to a recent course he took for IPAV to get licensed. And Kevin Loonman is going to share some insight 1 year into his college course. First off, I'm going to summarise as best as I possibly can the licensing requirements. In 2011, how you became a real estate agent here in Ireland changed. The Property Service Regulatory Act of 2011 actually meant that it was no longer possible to apply for a real estate licence or an auctioneer's licence via the courts anymore. I think it was late 2012 or 2013 that all existing agents had to apply for a new licence with the Property Service Regulatory Authority. The Property Service Regulatory Authority split the licence into 4 main key areas for providing property services. The first was Licence A, which was the auction of property, fairly straightforward, but it excluded the auction of land. The second section of the licenses was Licence B. This was the purchase or sale of property by any means. I think this is an important one for anyone who's out there watching these property guru videos, because in Ireland, if you are advising someone to purchase property, you need to be a licensed agent. So be careful if you're going out there trying to set up a property sourcing company. The third section of the license was License C. This relates to lettings. I think that's pretty straightforward. Also then the final section of the license, License D, was in regards to management of properties. This generally actually focused on residential management and management of properties that fell within the MUD Act, including mixed-use schemes that had a residential element to the property. Generally speaking, commercial properties that are solely commercial properties actually don't quite fall under this section. These 4 areas can only be provided by a property service provider once they are licensed. If you provide one of these services without a license, you're actually breaking the law and you run the risk of imprisonment or very heavy fines. I've never actually heard of anyone going to prison yet over one of these issues, but I have heard of some fairly large fines being levied at individuals who are providing property services without a license. Fines I've seen up to 100,000, and they can go higher under the law. The Property Service Regulatory Authority Act of 2011 is actually there to protect consumers. It's also there to make sure agents maintain a very high standard, and our licenses are required to be renewed every single year. We are also subject to audit, and I actually was audited at the start of this year. It's a kind of a scary enough process to enter into, but actually once you get into it, it's actually not too bad at all. But it is something that agents do need to make sure they keep all the records of everything, and it's an important process of the licensing. So how do you actually get licensed from the Property Service Regulatory Authority? Well, the application process will differ depending on if you're applying for a business or if you're applying as an employee. Businesses, partnerships and sole traders will have to provide a lot more detail. They'll have to provide detail on their insurance, they'll have to provide details on their education, they'll have to provide details on the company itself, the company name, the address, and a lot more details, and the license fee is about €1,000. An employee will just have to provide details on their education, as well as confirmation that they're covered under the company's insurance policy and that they provide a license fee of €100. Most of this information can actually be pulled together quite easily, but for some the stumbling block is the educational piece. Applicants for a licence must meet a minimum qualification standard. When licence became mandatory, existing agents were able to apply for a licence based on the number of years experience if they did not have educational qualifications. But now minimum qualifications have to come from an accredited college. Applicants must satisfy the Property Service Regulatory Authority minimum educational standards. They must achieve at least a level 6 or higher from an accredited college. The courses completed should actually cover 7 core subjects. Those subjects include valuations, law, economics, construction, management and marketing. The Property Service Regulatory Authority website actually has a 55-page document about how to apply for your licence. It also includes a list of colleges and courses. I will include a link below as well for that. Before I completely bore you on the Property Service Regulatory Authority, I'm going to actually pass you over to Regina. She is the Managing Director of Liberty Blue down in Waterford, great agency down there. Regina will hopefully motivate you and inspire you to become a real estate agent.
Hi there, my name is Regina Mangan. I own a company called Liberty Blue Estate Agents. We sell, rent and manage property in Waterford City and County. And this month in May, we're celebrating 23 years in business. And I was really young when I set up the company, and I can't believe how quickly the years have flown. I love real estate for so many reasons. It's not always easy. Look, if it was easy, anybody could do it. Isn't that what they say? It isn't always easy, but I love it. I love it for so many reasons. One, I love solving problems. I believe that finding a home for somebody is one of the most, I suppose, it's a great privilege. It's a really great privilege, and it is one of the biggest decisions that most of us will ever make, buying a property. So there's a lot of problems to solve for people in terms of selling them a home, in terms of finding them a home, in terms of renting a property. So I love that journey. I love running my own business. I have a great team with me. Some are in with me 12, 15 and 16 years. We must be doing something right. So it also offers great flexibility as a parent, because at the weekends, if I need to do viewing, I can bring my little boy in the back of the car with me. Also, if I want to start earlier, I can finish earlier. As the boss, though, that doesn't happen too often, but it does offer my staff great flexibility. It's a great career to consider, and you can make a lot of money from it, depending on how hard you're willing to work and how smart the people are that you hire. So if you go to real estate school and you're really driven and you're technology savvy, because that is the way forward, let's face it, but you'll always have to meet people, and relationships are so important. So if you're a good problem solver and you like connecting with people, it's a really great career to consider. And I hear that us ladies are really good at selling property. So there you go, one for the ladies especially. So I wish you all well. My email is regina@libertyblue.ie. Feel free to connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn, and if I can help you, I'd be delighted to. Take care.
I actually think that's a great summary, and hopefully that gave you some motivation. I will provide a link to Regina's LinkedIn. Everyone should follow her. She puts out some great videos, and any female viewers, you should definitely take her up on her offer there, and you should reach out directly to her. In terms of colleges that provide courses that meet the requirements of the Property Service Regulatory Authority, the shortest one that I'm aware of is a 2-year part-time course in Tala IT. But the Property Service Regulatory Authority do provide a list of about 50 colleges and courses on their own website. They include Dublin DIT, Waterford, Galway and Limerick, and there's a whole host of others there, so I will include a link to that as well. So it's been 16 years since I went to college, so I decided to ask another Shane who got licensed 2 years ago to provide more information, more relevant, up-to-date information on their course, and I'll let Shane explain now.
Shane, how you doing? Shane Hanevy here, just coming back to you about the IPAV course video. I know you're in the middle of making a YouTube video to let people know how to obtain a PSRA license. So yeah, as you know, I done the IPAV course in 2016 to 2018. It is a part-time course. It is every Saturday. It runs in conjunction with the academic year for Tala IT. So obviously from start of September to the middle of December, and then from the middle of January till the middle of May, so it's you're in and out fairly quick. I mean, it flew in for me. The exams then are the same time as college exams in Tala IT. You have exams in the middle of January, and you have exams in the middle of May, so they'll actually be doing them as we speak. So yeah, look, I couldn't recommend the course more. I mean, I wouldn't have the license if it wasn't for the IPAV course. It's kind of everything you need to know. I mean, I was kind of only doing residential stuff up until recently. Now I'm doing lettings, commercial, resi, everything, and the course has kind of given me a good background on everything that I need to know. I mean, I'm not in the industry that long. I'm in the industry now 4 years on the 23rd of May. So yeah, look, I couldn't recommend it more to someone who's thinking about getting their PSRA license. I know there's apprenticeship schemes, which I'm sure you'll touch on in your video, and there are other courses available, but for me, I think the IPAV one is probably the best. Yeah, look, if anything else you need, let me know. Thanks, Shane. Hope all is well.
Thanks for the insight, Shane, there. I think actually quite a lot of people will find that very helpful and useful. Shane is already a well-established agent now, and his future is looking bright. I will leave his details for Instagram and LinkedIn below. The course that you actually ultimately pick should be based on your preferred career route. Most of the courses out there are focused on real estate agency. However, if you are looking to work for one of the larger commercial agencies such as Savills, CBRE or JLL, or even one of the investment firms, I would recommend actually looking into one of the degree courses. I also get asked about switching careers into real estate. I actually think the barriers to entry are an issue for our industry. I'm all in favour of strong academic and educational requirements to become licensed. However, the licensing requirements take little to no account of any other degree that's not property related. I actually think the industry would benefit from external professionals coming in and moving into the industry. I actually think the commercial market would benefit massively if solicitors or accountants or salespeople could move easier into the industry and transfer some of their learnings that they've already gained and use them as accredited points rather than having to go back and do a further 2-year course. But one person who has actually successfully been able to shift his career into property successfully is Andrew Rhatigan, and I'm going to let Andrew explain how he did that.
Hello, my name is Andrew Rhatigan and I work with Janet Carroll Estate Agents in Blackrock, South County Dublin. My father was in the building industry, so I was surrounded by builders, building sites and cups of tea in my youth, although I didn't pursue it at that time. I went from studying psychology into sales in various forms, and I came upon property later in life. I'm actually very glad I did later in life because I think I appreciate it more based on the experiences I've had and also where I see the property business and myself going as a professional. I was very lucky to meet Janet Carroll, who afforded me the opportunity to learn from her and work with her, and I continue to learn more from her and my colleagues on a daily basis. The property industry is great because it's very dynamic. You have a number of areas that you can specialise in, that you can be involved in, and I think what I love about the market is it's like a living, breathing animal. It's always changing, and you get to meet some amazing people. I love growing my network, I love learning from people, but I also love the fact that I was afforded the opportunity to work with people who've chosen us to sell their most prized asset. If you're interested in commercial, whether it be lettings, whether it be management, I think it's a great industry because you can engage with people, you can enhance other people's businesses by advising them, and I think we're in a very privileged position that people have a special relationship with property, and I believe those in the property industry, once they conduct themselves the right way, will always be in high regard because they're the ones that can add value to people or their experience. In Ireland we have a great relationship with property, and I think with the advent of technology in the last number of months and years, I think it's going to change it even more so. I love property because I get to be myself, I get to use my personality. I'm also a very honourable person, so I love the fact that in this country I can sell, I can provide for my family, but I get to do something I thoroughly enjoy, and I hope it continues for many years to come.
Thanks a million for that, Andrew. I think most of you will agree that Andrew is an absolute natural on camera, far better than I am, and he should be putting out way more videos than he actually is. I think actually it could be Andrew's past sales experience that actually helps him in this regard. I will leave links to Andrew's LinkedIn and to Janet Carroll's website below. Make sure you check them out. Anyone who's been following me on Instagram for a while will know I'm always happy to answer questions. However, I did notice a lot of the questions were the same, and I realised that there was a lot of people out there with the same interest. I decided to set up a Slack group and invite everyone together, so hopefully we could have a meetup in Dublin at some stage. Obviously the lockdown happened and that meetup has yet to happen. However, there's about 30 people in that group. If anyone actually wants to join it, please feel free to reach out to me. The reason I'm actually explaining this is because Kevin Loonman was actually one of the first members. I actually think he was the reason why I did the video on discounted cash flow, if I remember correctly. But Kevin is actually working at the moment and also studying, and he's 1 year into his course. So I'm actually going to let Kevin explain how he's gone about that. In Ireland, actually most agents work for large agencies and have a salary based with a small bonus structure. There are some companies in Ireland that actually offer very large commission rates but low to no base salary. Companies like KW, American-based real estate company who've recently established here in Ireland, offer that model.
I've been involved in real estate for the past 18 months. I'm currently working for D&G in both the Tullamore and Mullingar branches. I have recently completed my first year of a 2-year part-time course in business and real estate. This course is run by IPAV in conjunction with TU Dublin. This course covers subjects such as valuations, sales and marketing, agency law, and many more. On completion of this course, I can then apply for my real estate licence through the PSRA. So for me, an opportunity arose with the Tullamore D&G and Mullingar D&G where they were looking for a bit of administrational staff. So I was lucky enough to get the position, and it was very quickly I realised that in order to work in real estate, it was paramount that I went back and attained my licence, because everything in recent years had become more regulated, and in doing so you could not be involved in the sales or purchases of property without having those licenses.
Kevin has a keen interest in property and he's always asking questions, so I'm sure he'll actually fly through his course, and in a year's time he will be a fully licensed agent. I think what both Kevin and Andrew's stories actually highlight is that you can actually get a job in property and train at the same time. There are programs out there that help this in terms of apprenticeship programs, but what I would say is if you do go down this route, what happens is you're limited in what you can actually do from the outset. You can't sign anything off or you can't approve anything, but you do have the great benefit of actually learning on the job, and then when you get licensed you're ready to hit the ground running, and you've also established a lot of contacts in the industry too. I love working in property. I love that it's different every single day, and I love problem solving. But I think it's important to remember that it's not all about buying and selling. There's loads of job opportunities out there once you have a property qualification that aren't directly related to agency. I myself actually attended DIT and did a 4-year degree in property economics. Afterwards, while I was working, I actually continued my training and became chartered with the Society of Chartered Surveyors here in Ireland and the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors in the UK. And I did that whole process between college and actually becoming chartered took about 7 years. When I finished my degree in 2005, I actually started working for Tesco. Yes, the supermarket. But what I was involved in valuations, rent reviews, lease negotiations, acquisitions, developments, redevelopments, design, also dealing with the Tesco board and managing shopping centres. In 2009, I actually worked for a bank after the 2008 crash. Generally speaking, what I spent most of my time was on due diligence as well as disposing of property assets, but I also got involved sometimes, rarely, but sometimes I got involved with actually reporting to government departments. The first time that I actually wasn't on the client side and was on the agency side was in 2012 when I got a job working with JLL. I'm just making this point actually to illustrate that once you get a property qualification, it doesn't limit you to just agency work. There's loads of jobs out there with banks, retailers, investment companies, developers, as well as IT companies. Actually, Amazon right now have a great property related job here in Dublin, Ireland, and actually looks like it could be a fantastic role as well as very well paid. that actually brings me nicely onto the money side of things. Salaries available actually range depending on the role and the area you're actually working in. The average salary for a residential agent is 33,000 and the average salary for a commercial agent is 41,000. However, those averages aren't that glamorous, but realistically what happens is, as a graduate surveyor you'll come in around 25,000. Most senior managers are on about 70,000 plus, and also anyone who's working as a director or a partner in a major firm can have salaries up to 300,000 plus. I hope you found this video helpful. I would like to say a big thanks to Regina and the lads. I hope you'd give them a big thumbs up for their efforts and the videos that they sent me. I think hopefully you got something out of this video, and if you are interested in property, make sure you do subscribe to this channel. And as always, I'm always happy to answer questions, so put them in the comments below, and thanks for watching.